So I'm remembering this story of the Buddha walking through the woods and hearing someone screaming and yelling. And so he goes and walks through the woods and finds the person, moves towards the sound and finds the person. It's a man wrapped around a thorny bush. So he said, "Sir, would you like me to help you untangle from the bush?" And he's like, "Oh, yes, please. I can't get off." So he slowly begins to disentangle the man one limb at a time, and slowly he's free. And after he's free and he's down on the ground, he's like, "Oh, thank you so much. I am so grateful for you. I don't know what I could do. I just could not get off." And then he all of a sudden looks back to the thorny bush and he's like, "Wait a second. My thorny bush." And he goes and takes and wraps around himself around the thorny bush again. And to me, it's an illustration of how we cling. We cling to what we've known, even if it's uncomfortable and it's no longer for us. We cling because it's safe and it's what we've known, even if it's a thorny bush. But to me, what I've come to know is that over time, we have these mini deaths. We have these mini sacrifices of self. And to me, it's like a little sliver or a thorn in our heart. And we don't necessarily know we have it. It's like a sliver where you don't know you have it until you touch the tip where you feel the thorn in you or the sliver in you. It's the same thing. We don't know we've put these little slivers in our hearts when we sacrifice ourselves, giving up for what we know to be true, to fit in, to belong, to be a part of something. And it pulls us out of integrity because it's a little lie to our body, because our body knows the vibration of truth and what is in harmony with us. And when it isn't, it's a little sacrifice. And there's been studies show that every time we lie, it elevates our blood pressure, increases cortisol. And it has all of these, it does stuff with this, with the hormones. It has all of these adverse side effects because our body knows. So we have these little slivers in our heart, and over time, we don't even know how many slivers there are because they've accumulated, because it's all of these little moments, these little micro moments that we sacrifice ourselves to please somebody else, to whatever the way is, that form of self-manipulation, of manipulating self to be able to fit in or to play the role that you have known. So we have all of these, and then over time we start to hug them and we love them and we're like, yes, this is mine, this is my thorny bush. And we've outgrown it and we no longer fit in that situation, but we don't want to let go of the thorns and what we have known because we're too scared to look at the possibility of what could be. But when we let ourselves slowly untangle from the thorny bush and start to remove the slivers and fill them back up with a space of connection and wholeness, then we can expand beyond measure. And then we can bravely walk and dance on the edge of fear and boldly soar into the unknown, because we are destined to, if we choose to. But it might mean we have to let go of the thorny bush of what we have known, to open up to what else is possible for us by honoring ourselves. Because by honoring one, we're honoring all. Because the one is a micro of the macro. If we are fully, deeply in love with ourselves, and we love ourselves and trust ourselves, it's honestly about trust. When we trust ourselves enough to follow, something in us expands and changes, and we're propelled forward by, as if something else is propelling us. It is the universe. God has got our back, and it is propelling us forward because we are leading with our heart. We are leading with our wholeness, and we are showing others the way by slowly disentangling from the thorny bush of what was safe and comfortable and known, to bravely walk into the unknown. Because either way, let's be real, we're walking blindly. Either we're walking by fear into what was safe and acceptable and known, or we're walking by faith into what is possible for us, what expands our being and bubbles us up, rather than presses us down and makes us smaller and constricts us. And you know the difference, but you've maybe been operating from fear for so long that you don't even know you're doing it, because that's what I did for a very long time. And it took me time to slowly disentangle from the thorny bush, and I'm still doing it, but I'm continuing to fill up with more of me and be deeply connected to self so that I can respond from my wholeness of what is honoring for me. And it takes practice, and it takes community of other people that are doing the same, because this isn't what the world teaches us. It's the opposite. The world is teaching us to continue to stay in what is safe and comfortable and known. Stay there because that's where you need to be. That's the good path. You're doing the things the right way. Who is to say what is the right way? We've already limited ourselves in that notion. So once we start to disentangle, it's important that we are ripened with the other fruit that is ripening, and that helps us ripen faster because we have others that are doing the same, so that we can fully blossom and ripen into our fullest expression. So I see you, and I was you, and I still am you, and it's a process, and it's a practice, and it's a way of being. But if you're open to the possibility of moving beyond what you have known and starting to make the subtle micro shifts of connecting with yourself and filling yourself up so that you are choosing from a place of wholeness and alignment, I wonder what might be possible.